Hello there, Dr. Chen, and my peer reviewing student, as well as anyone who just stumbled upon this video. This is the presentation for my final project, MLS tool, as I called it. I didn't go for a super commercial friendly name. I just decided to call it what it is, my MLS tool. A tool for determining which cities would be the best fit to host a Major League Soccer expansion team. But why? Start off with the question, but why? Why is it important? Well, it's because cities really covet sports teams. They fight over them. Maybe you've heard news about how Huntsville has done renovations on Toyota Field to make sure that the Angels let the Panthers stay, or that Kansas City is fighting to keep the Kansas City Chiefs in the city. And I forgot what other city's trying to steal them from them, but they're trying. Uh, So yeah, cities really want sports teams. But the MLS can't just hand them out to anybody. That's because they are the sole Division One league on the United States soccer pyramid. That means they have to follow special rules. Those rules include having to keep a certain minimum fan attendance at games and having a minimum amount of financial support from the community. So that's why this is important. It's important to identify what cities it would be good for the MLS to look into investing in, because they can't just give them out to everybody. They need to be careful. But this tool is also useful because it can be modified pretty easily for use for the NFL, MLB, NCAA conference expansion, which is all the rage these days, etc. For our works cited, we got Sports in the City by Natalie Koch. Just a discussion of how sports relate to urban geography. It talks a little bit about the kinds of cities that can host sports teams, playing the field, why cities move, and why cities fight to keep them. Excuse me. Title pretty much says it all. And then we got identifying world sports, discusses world sports cities and their economies. Sports, the economy, they go well together. It's colloquially known that sports teams do have many benefits that can provide an economy. And while technically it's a bit more complicated than that, for the purposes of this, we can ignore that. But the data I got. This tool is designed to work with a feature layer created by Esri called the USA Major Features Layer. As I'm going to discuss in a little bit, that makes this project unperfect because the MLS, its president, has fully said that there can be teams in Canada. There's 3 currently, and is there anything really stopping a team in Mexico? Not really. Uh, However, we have U.S. data, and so we're working with what we got. Additionally, I did get data from the MLS, of course, regarding which cities had teams. I modified that into the layer. Because there was no demographic data available, unfortunately, I only was able to work with quantitative data, such as population of cities, how far they are from each other, whether or not there's a state possesses an MLS team. And I use that to create a point system, which I'll get into in just a bit as well. But you can think of these ratings I'm giving them as dividing cities into 3 groups. Cities that cannot host an MLS team, plain and simple. Schools that probably can't, but who knows. And cities that most definitely can. Those are kind of rare these days because the MLS has already snatched up a lot of cities, but well, we'll get to that. There are 3 traits of a city that are used to calculate the rank. Is the city taken? If it's taken, loses a lot of points. Would a team in the city oversaturate the area? We don't want cannibalization. That'll screw everyone over. And is there a high enough population to support a fan base? Without a fan base, a sports team fails. That's a business with no customers. The range of possible scores extends from -8 to 6. But that's really something more for the code to think about than for us. Any score below 0 is any city with a score below 0 is deemed simply not fit to host a team. A score below 4 is deemed not especially well suited for a team. Having an MLS team already in a city, it drops at 4 points. Population size can gain a city 2 points or lose it 2 or 4. It only says 2 on the presentation. However, it is also possible for a city to lose 4 points by that if the population is especially small by sports city standards. Saturation of city, or more properly, freedom thereof, can gain a city 2 points, or it can drop it 2 to 4 points, depending on the population size. Oh yes, here's a quick view of the code. As you can see, a lot on if statements and withs and fors. But is it a good tool? Pardon. But is it a good tool? I would really like to revisit this project in the future if I can find a good layer with the demographic data, because I am interested in doing research in subjects like this of sports geography, preferably one with all U.S. counties or metropolitan areas with demographics. Having the counties would also allow for the saturation tests to be more in-depth and frankly more objective. Also, the tool can only look at U.S. cities. Well, as I previously mentioned, there's 3 cities in Canada that have MLS teams. International, it's allowed. However, I was able to take the data I had, and I was able to make a tool that can take that data and use it to make decisions. That they're basically a primitive AI. So at the very least, this is a proof of concept for something much better. Here is a screenshot of me using it. See, I looked at Birmingham, Alabama. It says the location is good, so the area is not saturated. Alabama has no MLS cities, but the population, it's not fit for a MLS city. So this is the end of the presentation. Thank you. It truly was an honor to have class with all of you. The ones I got to know better, I'm glad of. And, maybe I'll get to meet the rest of you soon enough. But now that that's done, the presentation, hubbaloo. Now let's get on to an actual real demonstration. Now, let's, you. Who were you? Mandan, North Dakota. Let's look at Mandan, North Dakota. Let's see if Mandan, North Dakota can host an MLS team. What a bad. Ooh, location is well suited. There are no North Dakotan teams. It wouldn't be an oversaturated market, but the city is not fit to host an MLS team, and it was given a rating of 2. 2 is the worst rating on the rating system. As you can see right here, I've modified the layer, and the code is actually able to work with this. And you can let it pretend that cities that don't have teams do, if you want to analyze, say, if I add this team, are there any more cities in hypothetical situations? 4 is for cities that have the best potential. 3 is for those probably nots. 2 is for those definitely nots. 1 is for it already has one, and 0 is for we haven't considered it. And it tells me that I want to go ahead and update the city. Man, where'd it go? Okay, I remembered how to select by attribute. Let's go ahead and update Mandan with that. As I said, this means that that the tool will treat that as a city that has one until we set it back. So it lets us imagine a situation like that. Um, Aside from showing you what other details it'll show you when you run the tool, I guess that's everything. So these are the cities we looked at. It's running you this, and here it's giving us a message: the city is not well fit to host an MLS team. The location is well suited. It'll give you a message noting any positive aspect, or especially positive aspects of the city, and then it tells you what rating to update the attribute table with. I wanted to let the tool do that itself, but then I realized that that's not possible because the attribute table is considered locked unless ArcGIS and the uh, project containing the feature layer are closed, so can't do that with an ArcGIS integrated tool. But I think I've covered all the bases. I guess I could see if we can find a city that could host one, but you know what? That might take a while, and there's really nothing extra that would show you. So I want to reiterate, it was so great to have this class with all of you. I hope that everyone has a fantastic winter break. Congratulations to the graduating seniors. As for everyone else, I hope to be seeing you around. So have a good one. Thank you for this class, Dr. Chen, and and so long.